Hello everyone, this is Red Dude. What secret could ruin your life if it got out? NSFW. I'm not talking to you without my lawyer present. Not a secret, but if a list of every intrusive thought I've ever had comes out, I'm screwed. Me and my wife make porn and watch them together. Then make more porn. Wife and I actually used to post ours to Reddit during our crazier years. Not sure what I was thinking there, but I'm perfectly okay with the fact that a substantial portion of Reddit has seen my junk. I lost my virginity to my cousin. I'd had a massive crush on her since 7th grade, and Christmas break one year my family went to her house for Christmas. At one point her mom asked her to go up to the attic to get some decorations, and she asked me if I would help. She climbed the ladder and I came up behind her. Wouldn't you know it, before my eyes could adjust to the darkness she grabbed me and kissed me, much to my surprise. We ended up cuddling and making out on an old mattress, and pretty soon she unzipped my pants and went down on me. She was there for less than 30 seconds before she slid off her own pants and lowered herself down onto me cowgirl style. I knew it was wrong, but I just couldn't say no. I couldn't help myself, it was only a minute or two until I was just about ready to bust. I warned her, I'm gonna come, but she didn't stop. She grabbed me by the collar, looked me deep in the eyes, and asked, do you want to be a daddy? I came so hard I shat my pants. About 25 years ago I was introduced to amateur porn, making me 16 at the time. For many years I got paid to have sex with a number of women. I introduced many girls and some guys. At the time my producer, he was making good money, and so was I shortly after became a really bad drug addict, strung out. But about when I was 28 years old, me and my girlfriend were dope sick and she didn't know what I did for a living on the side. Well, I told him I needed to do a film, so he told me to come, and as I started to do it and he filmed towards the end, he got on his knees and offered me $500 more if I let him give me a blowjob. Of course I fought with this in my head, but me being sick and having to hurry up, I let him do it. It was the first time I knew he was gay. It really messed me up because I didn't want to, but I was like fuck it, but after it happened I kept it a secret for all my life because people would have assumed I was gay. And to this day I've held that inside. It felt good to let it go. Got busted with a lot of computers from my work, about $25k worth, and plead guilty to grand theft. They spelled my name wrong birthday, and I never gave them my DL or SSN. I don't remember it, I said over and over during my 90-day incarceration. That was 34 years ago, and I background check my name every few years with a racy heart each time. Nope. Not there. I got arrested for less than a gram of weed and a pipe in the state I live in a few years back. Was supposed to go to court, but I was out of town and they refused to reschedule, so I just skipped it. Technically I'd have a warrant, but the cops did the same with me, incorrectly spelled my name and didn't get my birthday right. I've also had a background check ran on me a few times and nothing ever came back. I put a little more than double the amount of salt called for in recipes when I cook for people or bring potluck. I never have to bring home leftovers, the dishes are scraped clean. My super secret food hack is salt. It won't ruin my life, but I might get the stink eye from family with blood pressure problems and my super health conscious friends. I've been making 3D NSFW content for years and during peak pandemic it became my main income. Now it's both my wife's and I's full-time job. Proud of the work, but it would ruin our relationships to family and friends if it got out. I often think of suicide. I have 2 kids and they're the only reasons I am here. But I was a heroin addict in my 20s. Been clean 9 years and no one I work with or associate with at this point in my life, besides wife, kids, and immediate family, realized that 10 years ago I was an unrecognizable shell of who I am now. When I was 11, a friend of mine tried to steal a candy bar from a store and we got caught. We were told that we were banned for life. I went back in 40 years later and walked around like a boss. My brother was banned from a big-time tourist store in our city for stealing some little trinket when he was like 12. They banned him for life and took his picture with a Polaroid and put it in their book of banned customers. He finally went back like 25 years later with his kids and said something to the person working. They went into the back and brought out an album that still had his picture in it. He took a picture and texted me immediately. Everyone had a big laugh. One time I accidentally stole a pack of balloons from Walmart. I put it in my pocket and was gonna take it out to pay for it, but I forgot and walked out with it. I so is okay with smoking weed almost every day. I try to stop myself from falling into that habit but have noticed that I'm smoking more frequently. I feel guilt and shame at the thought of having this vice. I've always prided myself in not having some sort of vice in my 30 years of life. When I was 11 I was told to take out the trash and I did, but for context my family had a grill with a box of matches next to it and it was fall. But I burned some dead leaves for like 2 minutes, then I stomped on them to put out the fire, but all did was push it right next to our house and then the House went up the flames, and my parents had very well-paying jobs, so they were able to pay for the damages, but when the authorities came and firefighters put out the fire, they were wondering how it started, and the authorities suspected someone jumped to the fence and lit up the leaves to burn our house down. Our parents, scared for my life, moved somewhere else, and they lost the jobs and lost a lot of money moving to our new house, and for the next solid 7 years we lived like shit. And my parents still do not know that I'm the reason they have to look like that. For like 3 to 4 years it'd have some Raymond Cup barcodes, and I'd put duct tape on the back of them, and I'd go into Walmart at the self-checkout and put the barcodes on maybe 2 to 3 items out of the usual grocery haul that I'd buy. I finessed at least 7 to 8 portable chargers for myself for 25 cents that were about $25.40 each. I have about 4 to 5 of them still currently. I used this method a lot during college days when I was struggling like everyone else, but the fam would send me $30 for gas and food. My friend burned down our school. He gave me the lighter the same day, but I never realized until a week later I was literally in possession of crucial evidence and could be charged for it despite not having any involvement in the arson. It's in my jewelry box to this day. I haven't told my parents, my husband knows, but I quit my job to become a stripper recently. I have more quality time with my family, I am more financially stable, I've gotten into better shape, and I don't have to worry about budgets or bills as bad. If we need something in the house, it can go on the monthly or the weekly lists depending on severity. If Hubs needs a new project, I can give him his guy time. If my kid is sick, I can afford the medicine. I don't have to worry about money, and neither will my family compared to my childhood, where I spent my time extremely worried about whether we'd have food, electricity, heater AC, or tampons. It feels good to be in a stable home, and even if I am stripping to do it, I'm happy to be able to provide for my family the way I am. I'm pretty sure I was molested as a kid by a distant adult cousin we all called Uncle Junior. My only memory of it is that I had come to the living room to watch Animal Planet really early in the morning before school. I was only in the 2nd grade. He was watching TV from the blow-up mattress and asked if I wanted to cuddle under the covers with him. It was cold and he was staying with us to keep us safe from our dad, violent drunk who mom had kicked out, so I said yeah. I remember realizing he was only wearing a t-shirt and boxers when I got under the covers with him, and that made me feel really anxious for some reason. And that he was really warm, which made it worse. And everything after that is blank. I just remember getting a really bad UTI or yeast infection a couple days later and my mom being really upset about it. Then Uncle Junior didn't stay with us anymore. Maybe it was all one giant coincidence. Maybe I don't remember anything after that because it was a totally normal morning for me and nothing happened. Maybe he just watched Animal Planet with me and didn't do anything weird or creepy at all. But I've never been able to shake this feeling of anxiety whenever I think about that day. This sort of sinking feeling of dread, like the kind you feel when you know something scary is about to happen while watching a movie, but you just don't know how or when it'll happen. He slipped out and accidentally backdoored me during wild downward doggy thrusting. Worst pain ever. I cried like a baby while he apologized over and over again, but I just couldn't recover. I gimped out of the room like someone who just got re-aimed might and ugly cried for about 5 minutes in the bathroom before I calmed down enough to return to bed. But fun time was over. My husband was extremely apologetic and held me afterwards whispering sorries and I love yous into my hair as he spooned me. This was when we were relatively newly married, young, and we hadn't done that yet voluntarily. It was an accident and probably the worst way ever to get introduced to butt sex. It decidedly takes more prep and to be eased into more gently than that. But accidents happen in sex sometimes, it's no one's fault. Thank you for watching this video, if you liked it, consider checking out my other content.